right, welcome back. This video is a bit different, obviously. We are not on the boat, we are not in the plane, we are not on the ice. We're actually doing a review of the top coolest catches of 2023. Coolest catches, coolest moments, everything in between. So we're gonna react to the videos and give an extra sense of depth to each one of these shorts. So we're not gonna waste any time, we're gonna get right into it. Here comes the number 10th most interesting catch of 2023.
This monkfish we just got. You've been following, we catch these occasionally. This is one of the bigger ones we catch. Big old gnarly teeth on him. Creepy fish. You can see his eyes are actually glowing green. Crazy fish. They got, like on Finding Nemo, they got a little lure.
I will not hear you.
It doesn't light up like the anglerfish, but they do have a little lure right there. They dangle it in front of their mouth. Little fish come in to check it out and they eat them. If you look down in his throat, he's actually got a set of teeth down in his throat. These are one of the creepier fish that we catch. Look, he's got wings. He's got them right out. This is one of the bigger ones we catch. They do get a lot bigger than this. They get up to like 4 or 5 feet. But we can't fit them in our traps bigger than this. So they'll put that little lure in front of their face. Little fish will swim in and check it out.
This actually hurt. He actually got me. I was trying to get him a little behind the scenes.
All right,
here.
we're gonna let him
Spoiler
go.
alert.
We'll give him a snack.
I did try to let it bite my glove, but the edge of my glove, just for content's sake. It would be funny if he came close to biting me and I accidentally got my finger in there a little too far and he actually drove his teeth right out of sight into my finger and it truly did hurt. That was not staged. Well, slightly. Anyway,
There
let
he
him go.
goes.
Plump. All right, on to the 9th coolest catch of 2023. Let's see what we got.
Pretty cool calico lobster.
Calico.
All yellow.
Pretty cool. We don't actually see many calicos in the run of a year. The year before last, we saw, geez, I don't know, 4 or 5 in 1 year, which is abnormally high. This year, this is the only one we saw.
Orange, I guess, with some normal colored claws.
Looks like it's got gloves.
Pretty cool. It's a keeper. If it was a female, we'd give her a notch. And then nobody could keep her, but since it's a male, there's nothing we can do to protect him.
So the notch, if you're new, just signifies that it's capable of breeding. Once a female receives a notch in its tail, it can no longer be kept. It's a way of protecting the proven breeding females and keeping them in the ocean. This one's a male, so the notch would not do anything to it. So like I said here in the video, there's no way to protect it. So unfortunately, we did keep this one. We kept it in the tank for a while at the co-op. Some tourists got to see it. I'm not sure where it ended up in the end.
So we're gonna keep him in our tank here at the co-op. It's right in Winter Harbor, right at the Winter Harbor co-op. Someone wants to stop in and check him out, or if an aquarium or somebody wants him, feel free to reach out and we can try to coordinate a way to get him to you. Look at those white spikes. See him? Yeah.
It was a pretty lobster.
Oh, there's more on this side, both of them. It's pretty cool.
So this is the tank at the co-op. We have a little retail store at the co-op.
It left the half tail.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see
We have
that.
another one in there. See that yellow tail, orange tail split.
Cool.
Pretty neat. All right, on to number 8. This is the 8th coolest catch of 2023. Let's see what we got.
Top 3 cool catches of the day.
Okay, so this one's buried behind 3 cool catches for this day. We did this occasionally throughout the year where we would do the 3 coolest catches for that day. And number 8 for the year is actually the number 1 for this day. So we got a couple here in front of this real quick.
Number 3. We got a big male.
Big male.
7, 8 pounds maybe.
Fast forward this a little bit.
50.
See what number 2 was.
So of all the things we catch, this is probably the oldest. This is
Oldest.
It's hard to really say. Millions of years old, maybe billion years old.
What is it?
It's a real nice rock.
Nice rock. Gotcha.
And number 1.
Here it is.
Not exactly sure what this is or if you can really see it.
Creepy.
Something tells me it's called a sea spider. I don't know where I would get that impression. Can you see it?
Creepy spider. You don't like spiders, that's not for you.
Look, it looks like it's got some eggs. No snack for you. You're too creepy looking.
All right, next up, the 7th coolest catch of 2023.
So there's something very strange going on.
Okay, this one's not a catch. This is a moment. This is a very interesting moment of 2023. This was just before Hurricane Lee struck. Pay attention.
And I'm afraid that we know where Hurricane Lee is heading. You hear these stories of animals acting strangely when big storms are coming, and I'm afraid that might be what's going on. This morning we actually came across the most birds we've ever come across. We assumed that it was a flock of birds that got blown offshore, but on the ride in, once we got service, we realized there was something quite a lot bigger going on. We've got friends the whole length of the coast, pretty much to the Canadian border. We've got some videos from friends that shared them. The whole length of the coast was nothing but birds this morning.
This scene right here that you're looking at is from literally the eastern border of Maine, probably even beyond that. That was just as far as I had contact with. All the way down, way to the western, there was birds. There must have been millions of them. It was insane. We didn't realize quite how insane it was until we got back to land later that day. So many birds. Check this out.
There's just hundreds of thousands of birds, and I don't know what they're doing. I wasn't too scared of this storm up until today. And we saw the videos, everybody saying they've never seen this before. I asked my dad, he's been fishing his whole life out here, and we always see a handful of birds. After northerly winds, we'll always see maybe 5 or 6 throughout the day, but nobody's ever heard of this. Nobody's ever seen this many birds. This wasn't caused by northerly wind. We haven't really had a lot of northerly wind to speak of anyway, and there's no way this many birds could possibly get blown offshore at the same time. These birds obviously flew out there for some reason. I'm not really sure why they would go out there. They were exhausted. They were trying to land on the boat because they were so tired. There were birds.
Looking back on it, I don't think they necessarily got blown out to sea. I think they got lost. Something to do with the storm messed up their migration and they ended up out there. Typically through the year, we'll get northerly winds, especially in the fall, and it'll always blow 1 or 2 birds offshore, and we'll see birds offshore occasionally, and they do get tired and they land in the ocean. They have nowhere to go. They're not ocean birds, they're not water birds. So they land in the boat, they'll actually land on us to try to hide from the birds, the seagulls that try to eat them, and we'll actually put them in the wheelhouse and give them a ride home. But this was something much different than that. This was, I don't know, a mass, I wouldn't even know what to call it. Just mass confusion of birds. They were lost. A huge migrating flock.
Floating in the water, so I'm not really sure why they were going out there. Evidently they thought it was better than being in here, which is a little bit worrying. But anyway, we saved 6 of them. We just got in, we let them go. I guess now we'll just keep our fingers crossed for Saturday that the storm turns and heads offshore. I don't know. Like I said, wasn't too worried about this storm until saw all these birds. Something definitely seems off. That one's pretty. But anyway, I suspect. I guess they're a good judge of character, Cody.
I'd say. Get a chillery there.
Cool.
All right, on to the 6th most interesting catch or moment for 2023.
There's a name tag on
Oh
it.
yeah, this was interesting. The mysterious UFO of 2023. This one went viral. This was a big video, 12 million views, almost 800,000 likes. This one had people confused. And I'll admit, I did call it a UFO in this one.
Oh yeah, it's
Maybe
the Kool-Aid
that's
Man.
partly why.
Oh yeah.
It got so many views. I'll tell you what it is in just a minute.
It's got a note on it. It says, if found,
It is pretty
return to
interesting.
Burnt Cove, Beals Island, Maine. Or call this number.
This was drifting like 12
No, it
miles
is actually
offshore.
the Kool-Aid Man. You weren't joking. It's got a picture and everything. Oh yeah. I don't know the story behind this. That's kind of cool. I don't get why they put a note on it. I would like to bring it in and get it out of the ocean, but I really don't know. Unless we got a sawzall or something to cut it up, you could tow it home.
Fast forward.
Be a long ride into the boat.
So we had traps on the
home.
boat, so we set the traps back out.
I don't think we got the room. We're gonna give it a little pull and see what happens.
I would have towed it in, but we had a long ways to go. Towed pretty good. Look at it. Turned it into a boat. What's interesting about this is there was actually multiple of these in the ocean at the same time, because I put out a message at the end of this video. Actually, no. Rewind a minute. After this video, the company that had these, that lost them, saw the video and reached out to me. And they said that they'd be happy to go get it out of the ocean, but they didn't know where it was. So they wanted my help tracking it down, so I made a follow-up video and a follow-up story. We tracked it down. I sent them the location. I don't know if they ever ended up getting it out of the water, but long story short, when I asked everybody to help me find the location of this thing, there were people reporting the location of it from Gloucester and from Western Maine. So there was actually 2 of them in the ocean. I don't know where they, one of them ended up on the beach down in Cape Cod, I believe, where they pulled it out, or Gloucester. They're actually salmon pens. So these are, or the tops of salmon pens, where they raise fish inside of a farm. And these ones, I'm not sure, I can't remember where they came from. All right, so next up is number 5. We're at the halfway point. Keep sticking with me. Number 1 is gonna be worth your weight. It's wild. You probably have some suspicions if you've been following what number 1 is. If you haven't been following, then prepare to have your mind blown. Let's go check out number 5.
Oh my God, Jacob! They were not joking.
This was personally one of my favorites. And we didn't actually catch this. My brother-in-law caught it, and it's a wolffish. Check this out.
So my brother-in-law just caught this wolffish and we were going by him, so we stopped over to check it out. And it is an absolute giant. If you've seen him before in my videos, they can bite like crazy. That thing's huge, dude. Kind of scared to grab a hold.
Dude, I'm scared it was gonna roll out and bite me.
We haven't caught one yet this year. We caught a few last year, but I've never seen one this big. They get huge. They get like 6 feet long. I don't even know how this one fit in a trap. Monster wolffish.
Huge.
We're gonna see what he can do to a soda can.
Watch
I
this.
don't even dare to get my hand near him. They're like a dog. Wow. Dude, it exploded.
Oh my word!
No effort there. Look at this soda can.
Now we got a caffeinated wolffish. What could go wrong here?
Dude, if you actually got your hand in there, you'd be stole back. All right, we're gonna let him go.
That'd be brutal. So their bite strength does, as you can see on the screen, comes into play for eating. They eat mussels, oysters, scallops, and they use that bite strength to crush stuff open and get inside of it. And supposedly these things are actually very friendly. Divers, when they dive repetitively in the same area, are reported to actually make friends with wolffish. And they, I don't know if it's friends. I think they figured out that the wolffish actually like the body heat that comes off of divers. So the wolffish will actually come over and snuggle up with the scuba divers and use their body heat because they like it. So I'm not sure how I'd feel if this thing came over and snuggled up to me while I was in the ocean. I think I'd probably rather fight off a shark. All right, next up is the 4th most interesting catch of 23. Let's see what we got.
Whoa!
Oh yeah.
What the heck?
Right here,
This content is sponsored by Warner Brothers.
What is that?
Jacob, I'm pretty sure that's Aquaman's trident.
Oh my God, it is.
Be careful.
You guys gotta try this.
Hey, Jacob!
There must be a grave conflict brewing beneath the sea.
One of the coolest things that we did all year. This was a partnership we did with Warner Brothers themselves. How cool is that? And that's actually a trident from the movie set. This is one of the ones they used. No joke. How crazy is that? You look it up. Look up the ones that they use. I'm sure they put After Effects on these things to make them look cooler, but that's pretty cool, huh? Pretty proud of that one. And it's thanks to all of you guys for following along and sharing throughout 23, growing the page, making it what it has turned into, that has got attention from people like Warner Brothers to make stuff like that possible. So cool. All right, I hope you've enjoyed 10 through 4. We're headed into the top 3. And hope you're enjoying this different kind of content. Something different for me. Not used to making stuff inside like this, but given the stretch of weather that we've had the past week, the options of what we can go out and make for content are pretty limited. The plane is actually all done on skis in a hangar, just waiting to go ice fishing. And I'm itching to go. We just haven't had the weather nor the ice to do it. Fingers crossed we'll be doing that soon. Anyway, let's get into the top 3. And I'm telling you, wait till you see number 1. If you haven't seen it, it's cool. Here we go.
Look at that. That is nut. That's the first one I think I've ever caught. It's an albino wry-mouthed eel. You guys ever seen a white eel before?
This morning when I took a leak.
I don't know if you heard him. He said this morning when I took a leak. Oh, that's Keith. Leave it to Keith. So it's an albino wry-mouthed eel. We catch wry-mouthed eels pretty frequently throughout the year. There's quite a few eels in the Gulf of Maine, and they're all very creepy. This one happens to be an albino wry-mouthed eel, which is the only albino wry-mouth that I've ever caught. On to the top two. The second most interesting catch or moment of 2023. What do we got?
You can't even fit into the trap,
big
he's so
lobster.
big. Absolute dinosaur. 70, 80, 90 maybe year old lobster. Absolute giant. So we're just gonna let it go.
That's a short video, and one that I know the viewers and you guys will appreciate. Those big lobsters aren't seen very often, and we don't actually see them very often, so I do appreciate it as well. Lobsters any bigger than that can't fit into the trap. Our traps aren't designed to catch lobsters that big because we can't keep lobsters that big. Lobsters that large in Maine are protected. Anything over 5 inches is considered extremely large, right? Yeah, 5 inches is big.
Oh my God, that's big.
So we must let them go. They are the best at breeding the females. Let's just go to number one. On to number one. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. You got any guesses? We're gonna pause for a second. We're gonna tell who's been viewing for a long time and who hasn't. You guys just leave a comment in the comment section of what your guess number one is right now. I'm gonna pause for a second. You go leave your comment, what you think it is. And we're gonna know if you've been here for a while or if you're a new viewer. All right, go ahead. Okay, here we go. The number one most interesting catch or moment for 2023.
This is the coolest lobster I've ever seen. Not only is it split 50-50 right down its back, blue and normal, but if you look underneath, it's actually half male, half female. The blue side is a male, the normal side is a female. Split 50-50 perfectly. Super pretty blue. Very cool. It's actually a legal lobster. We're allowed to keep it. It has no notch. I'm not even sure if we notched it, if it would protect it, since it's not a male or a female. I don't know if the notch would apply to it. I would assume it does. So now we're wondering.
So again, the notch, as I said earlier, is something that protects females from being harvested. But since this one is half male and half female, it's hard to say if that notch would help protect it or not. I'm assuming it would. It would probably get the benefit of the doubt.
What we're gonna do with it. We could notch it and let it go, and it would probably be safe. I don't think another fisherman would keep it, but there's no way to know for sure since it's not a full female. We're also talking about maybe making a cage for it, bringing it in and keeping it as a pet, and maybe putting some lobsters in with it and seeing if we can get it to grow some eggs. I've seen pictures of them before growing eggs on half of their tail, so it would be super cool to see if we could hold on to this lobster for a few months through the winter and get it to grow eggs. We're actually gonna leave it up to you guys. We're gonna hold on to her in the boat for the day, and we'll be reading your comments throughout the day. Let us know if you want us to notch her and let her go, or bring it in and build a nice big cage for it. We'll put some rocks, we'll put some seaweed and stuff in there for them to hide in and keep them in there for a few months and watch it. Very unique lobster. Never seen one like it, never heard of one like it. We didn't actually catch it. A friend of ours caught it and gave it to us so we could share it with you. Let us know what you want to do with it.
That wraps up the 10 coolest catches for 23. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for sticking around to the end of it. We'll see you soon, hopefully doing something awesome. We're gonna go try out the plane real soon. We're going to do some winter camping real soon. We're gonna go after some big muskies, sleep on the ice. We got a few other cool videos planned, so we'll see you soon. Oh, I just realized my window went black.